If you are somebody who's running an agency, you need to understand these 5 principles if you want to hit the 7-figure mark. And everyone wants to start a business and become rich, but there aren't many people, as crazy as it sounds, who truly understand what a business even is. A business is a system that is composed of 5 different components, and your goal is to always increase the throughput of each component. So what are the 5 components of an agency, the 5 principles? The first one is offer, then you have lead flow, then you have appointments, then you have deals, and then you have delivery. And your goal is to think of this as a system. And basically what you're trying to do is to get the most amount of people who start at the top to also finish at the bottom. Okay, you're trying to increase the throughput of each component, and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. And so what is each component? The offer is what you are offering in exchange for money. What is lead flow? It's basically quantity of leads you are getting. What is appointment flow? It's basically quantity of appointments you are getting. What is deal flow? It's basically quantity of deals you're getting. What is delivery? It's simply the process of delivering on the thing you promised. Okay? And so a key thing you need to keep in mind is that a chain is only as strong as the weakest link. And that leads us into the next point, which is the theory of constraints. And so the theory of constraints simply means that is a methodology for identifying the most important limiting factor, also known as constraint, that stands in the way of achieving a goal and then systematically improving that constraint until it is no longer the limiting factor. In manufacturing, the constraint is often referred to as the bottleneck. So think of a beer bottle, okay? And you have like the bottom part, which is pretty wide. And then when you get to the top, the tip of it, it kind of becomes more narrow and more closed, okay? And so it limits how much liquid can actually be poured out of it because of that narrow part. And you want to think of in a business, what is that narrow part that is stopping the most amount of liquid of being poured out of your bottle or being poured in, okay? That's why they call it a bottleneck. And so let's go to La La Land and let me explain to you the perfect business. Okay, the only perfect business that could ever exist would be one that has zero constraints, which doesn't exist. Every single business in the world, even like companies like Google, Meta, Tesla, they all have constraints. Okay, and so this is how hypothetically it would look like. So for example, let's say 100 people see your offer. And since this business has no constraints, all 100 of those people become leads. 100% of those people become leads. Then 100% of people book a call. And then 100% of people buy from you. And then 100 people get serviced and get great results. Okay? So at the end of the day, the perfect business looks like 100% of the people who see your offer end up buying and getting great results. The reason why is because the business has no constraints. And if your business is in the situation where 100% of people who see what you're selling end up buying, then you can make a lot of money, bro. A lot of money. But most of your businesses probably have constraints, and that's why this video exists, so I can show you how to solve them. And so that is what the perfect business looks like. It means that 100% of everyone who sees what you are selling buys and gets great results, but that is unrealistic. This is what a realistic business looks like, okay? And so let's say 100 people see your offer. We have bottlenecks. And so then only 5% of people become leads, and this is pretty realistic, whether you're running ads or wherever you're making a call to action. So it goes from 100 people to 5 people because that's how much throughput the lead flow can handle. And then let's say out of those 5 people, only 2 people book calls, so 40%. So 2 people book calls. And then out of those 2 people that booked calls, 1 person buys. Realistically, we would also have to see what the show-up rate is, but let's just ignore show-up rates for now, and let's just say 1 person buys, so 50% on the deal flow. And then, oops. And then 1 person gets serviced and gets great results, so 100%. So as you can see, there's each component in the business can handle a different amount of throughput. And, the delivery being 100% doesn't really matter since, this lead flow is 5%. Well, it does matter, but I'm just saying the main focus right here is not the delivery, okay? Since there's things above it that affect how much, people are even getting into the delivery component. And so let's say both the perfect and realistic business were selling something for 10K a pop, okay? Let's compare how much each one would have made. And, obviously this isn't realistic, but just for the sake of this video, I just want to demonstrate this to you. So let's say, for example, perfect business, 10K ticket price. So attention and offer is 100 people, lead flow is 100 people, appointment flow 100 people, closing rate is 100 people. Since, 100% of the people who saw what you're selling, they went and bought, that would be 100 times 10,000 equals $1 million in revenue. Okay, $1 million in top line. Now the realistic business, let's see how much they make. So it went from 100 people seeing the offer, same as the perfect business, to only 5 people becoming leads, to only 2 people booking an appointment, to 1 person buying. And then from there, you have 1 times 10,000, which is 10,000. Okay. So simply you can see, because this one has no constraints and this one has a lot of constraints, that, or actually there's only one constraint at a time, but since this one has, less throughput in each component opposed to this one made substantially less money with the same amount of attention on the offer. Look at the difference between the two businesses. With the same amount of attention on the offer, one business is able to generate 100 times the revenue by having maximum throughput and zero constraints. Obviously, having zero constraints is unrealistic, but if you can even incrementally increase the throughput of your constraint, then you could increase your revenue by a few multiples. Okay. So how do you actually find the constraint of your business? How do you know what to solve, what the actual constraint is? Okay. There's a method to it. So in the example of the realistic business, we had the lead flow, which was 5%, the appointment flow, which was 40%, and the closing rate, which was 50%. Okay. And so which part of the sales process is the constraint? Here's how you find out. If I were to add an incremental percentage increase of 10% to each step, which one would have the biggest effect on the outcome of the business? Which one would increase the revenue the most? Well, so if we increase lead flow from 5% to 15%, appointment flow from 40% to 50%, and closing rate from 50% to 60%, you're increasing lead flow 3x. Okay, so you're increasing lead flow by 3 multiples over, which means that the answer is lead flow. Okay, because if we add 10% to each one, and lead flow is increasing by 3 times, opposed to, these ones which aren't increasing as much, then the answer is lead flow, because the business triples. And the only thing you should be obsessing about in this situation is getting more attention on the offer and improving lead flow. So if you're running this business right here and the constraint is lead flow, that means the only thing you should be focusing on every single day is how to increase lead flow and get more attention on the offer. Okay. And so how do you actually improve the 5 components? Because, if you run a business for long enough, you're going to run into all 5 of these being constraints. Okay. And so how do you actually improve them when you run into each component being constrained by whatever it's lacking? And so how do you fix it? The first one is attention on offer. How do you get more attention? Well, simply just run ads and build an audience. Running ads is to make money right now. Building an audience is a long-term play, so you can make more money long-term. And so everything we just talked about doesn't matter at all if you don't have any eyeballs on your offer. To put it simply, run ads and create content. Leveraging technology, which is ads and content, is far better than leveraging people, which is, doing outreach. I made a whole video on it. You can go on my profile. I made a whole video saying why you should do ads and content over outreach. Just leverage technology, okay? Because you simply get more for what you put in. The reason why you should do both is simple. Running ads will make you more money in the short term, but making content will make you more money in the long run. As more and more agencies are being started and the sophistication of the market grows due to everyone making empty promises, you need to stand out. And the best way to do this is by creating a brand. You want to be viewed as an authority and an educator, not just a marketer, not just a salesy marketer who's just trying to sell their person because they're always putting up ads. You want to be educating people, and you want the top of your funnel for your whole business to be an education. You want to be running an education business, and then you build trust with people, build goodwill with your audience by providing value, and then you sell them. And you're going to see how all this plays into these other aspects. Okay, because you want your marketing to do the selling, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. And so to start with ads, it's simple. It's all about your creative. Running ads, especially Meta, is becoming less and less about button pushing, button clicking, targeting, and it's just becoming more about your creative. Meta's machine learning has gotten so good at identifying who your ad is for just by the copy and creative. So let's say you're targeting garage door businesses. Just by putting garage door businesses in your copy and creative, Meta will know exactly who to put the ad in front of. So it's less, media buyers are becoming less and less in demand because of how simple running ads has become, okay? Especially Meta. And so when it comes to creating content that actually makes you money, again, I made a whole video on this, so you can see it on my page. You must make content that your audience will find the most valuable. If you want more insights on how to create content that makes money and just more in depth, I will leave the link to the video where I fully explain how to do it properly in the description below. Okay, it's going to be the second link under my free AI scaling specialist community, which you should join, by the way. And so the more money you put into ads and the more pieces of content you create, the faster you will see results. Okay, and this is just something where volume negates luck, and doing more volume, doing more testing, creative testing, putting more money into ads, creating more piece of content, you're going to see success faster. Okay, and so that's how you solve the attention on offer aspect. It's by running ads and creating content. So the second one is lead flow. How do you actually improve lead flow? You want to build goodwill by providing value. You want to consistently deliver value. basically the same thing. You're going to build an ecosystem of leads, whether that's an email list or community, whatever the mechanism you want to use. And you also want to give away really good free stuff. Make your free stuff better than most people's paid stuff, and you will make a lot of money. Simple as that. And so when it comes to lead flow, it all comes down to the value you're providing and how you're providing value. You want to make sure that you're viewed as a trustworthy authority figure in the eyes of your prospect. The deciding factor of how you're viewed is basically, if you're creating content, if you're just running ads, basically what I explained above. And I would highly recommend you start with building an audience. Since there's a lot of noise on the internet nowadays, I would also recommend that you encourage your audience to only focus on your value by creating a community and providing even more value in there. You can also, make the community, put a price to it, charge people to join your community, but I wouldn't really recommend that as a top of funnel, since you're just trying to get as many people in your ecosystem as possible. So I'll just recommend a free community, get people to focus on your messaging, on your content, on your value, provide really good free value in there, give away stuff for free, and people are going to build more trust with you, and you'll be closing more people. And so it all starts with getting attention, which I just mentioned, ads and content, but then turning that attention into leads will require you to over deliver on value. Okay. And so that's how you improve lead flow. Just build more trust and provide more value than everyone else. Third is appointment flow. So it is harder than ever to book appointments in 2024 for a few reasons, because we're in a trust recession. Trust levels in the market is low. Competition levels are high, and it might be your offer. You want to make sure that what you're selling is not a commodity. And so how do you actually start booking calls? First thing, like I already mentioned, you want to educate your market. And so we're currently in a trust recession. If you aren't creating content that educates your market on how to solve their most painful problems, you simply won't have enough trust and goodwill to build up to book calls like clockwork. I don't know why I can't talk, but yeah, you need to have trust with people. People need to know who you are and what you're known for. And if you're known for something that's, like you help them a lot, you provide a lot of value. If they made any money off of your free advice, they're gonna think to themselves, I made money off this person's free stuff. I wonder what his paid stuff is like. Okay, and so make sure you're running an education business as your top of funnel. That's important. Second, make sure what you're selling seems unique. Try to make whatever you're selling seem as novel and unique as possible, truthfully, even if it isn't. The best way to do this is to give whatever you're selling a unique name. People have shiny object syndrome, so start selling shiny stuff. An example of this is you probably scroll on Instagram and you probably see a lot of these influencers, these internet marketers. For example, you have names like Ravi Abuvala. He has the self-sustaining funnel, which is basically a funnel with content or something like that. I don't even know exactly what it is. You have Serge Guattari. He has the build and release offer. You have, I think his name's like Saunders. I forget what his name is. He has the IPGA offer. You have like Grayson Lupas. He has the social funnel. Like all these people give these like mechanisms, like some names, but truthfully it's nothing really crazy. It's nothing really that unique. It just has a unique name to it. Some people will go over the top and like give like a really crazy name to whatever they're selling. Like I think I saw a dude who was like, he had like a funnel, he was naming it like the hypertropics funnel, like some crazy name. I was like, bro, chill out. Okay, like we're not, it doesn't have to be over the top, but just make sure it gives it a nice shine to whatever you're selling. Okay, to kind of create some separation from the rest of the market. And so people have shiny object syndrome, so start selling shiny stuff. The third one is to become someone credible, and there's two main ways of building credibility. The first one is to build a personal brand. The second one is to include social proof in your marketing. So two pretty straightforward answers. And these two things will increase the perceived likelihood of achievement that the prospect will achieve their desired outcome if they work with you. Okay. The fourth one is to actually sell an AI scaling system. If you don't know what an AI scaling system is, it's simply AI mechanisms and tools packaged into an offer to help businesses scale. And by adding an AI mechanism to your offer, you're allowed to position yourself as somebody who sells AI, and this is going to separate you from everybody else. So those are the four main ways to to book calls. And so if you want to get more appointments, I definitely take a look at if you have any of these four methods implemented, and I'd start implementing them right now. If you want to get this fourth one implemented, we have a free AI scaling specialist group completely for free. It's the first link in the description. You can join that right now for free insights. But this is how you start booking calls. Okay. And so the fourth one is deal flow. How do you actually get more deals? How do you close more people? You want to let your marketing do the selling for you. You also want to implement the 7-hour rule. You want to provide a clear return on investment, and you want to sell with logic and not emotion. And so how most people go about closing clients is by selling them really hard. But the truth is that you want your prospects to be sold before they even hop on the call with you. Let your marketing do the selling for you. Think back to when was the last time you clicked on an ad, booked a call, showed up on the call, and then bought right then and there. There's something called the 7-hour rule. You want to make sure that the prospect at least consumes 7 hours of your content before they even hop on a call with you. Okay. And so if you're forcing a person to buy on the call, then, they'll buy, but they're going to wonder to themselves if it was even the right decision to buy. They're going to be all hesitant. They're going to, it's just going to get shitty results. Okay. They're not going to become the best clients because they aren't fully bought into the process, because although you didn't technically force them to buy, you kind of like objection handling, sell really hard, handle this objection, then, go back to the loop where you ask them if they want to buy, and, they just feel pressure to buy. Yeah, you're going to get the money, but it's just going to be really dog shit client, and you want to make sure that they know who you are, they know what you're selling before you even you want them to know what your process is before they even hop on the call, so they have more intent. So even though they know what you're selling, and even if they know the price and they're still hopping on the call, the intent of them purchasing is higher, okay, opposed to you just randomly, just like out of nowhere, hey, this is what we're selling, and, you have to buy right now, we have this crazy guarantee. Bro, that's just going to be really shitty. So, yeah, they're going to get mediocre results, and they're going to become low-quality clients. You want clients who are truly bought into your process and view you as an authority. Again, you do that by posting a lot of content and educating your market. Okay. And so one big thing that I've observed from hopping on hundreds of sales calls in my market is that when you present a clear return on investment, the chances of the prospect buying is exponentially higher, and sell with logic opposed to emotion. Okay, that's huge. So if you can present numbers on the call like, hey, this is how much you're making. If we implement this system, this is how much it's going to save you, or this is how much it's going to make you right away. And so this service literally pays for itself. Then you have such a high chance of providing or of closing the person. And so the last one is delivery. So how do you improve delivery? It's pretty simple. Just document everything, create standard operating procedures, SOPs. If you're a founder, remove yourself from delivery, please. Make it as technologically oriented as possible, and also productize it. Okay, these two kind of go hand in hand, but at the same time, they kind of don't. I don't know. Do they? Maybe they don't. And so you want your service delivery to run like a conveyor belt. This simply means that you systematize everything and everything runs smoothly. I would highly recommend you document every process in your business so that it can easily be outsourced to somebody. Okay. And as a founder, you shouldn't be doing too much in the service delivery aspect of your business. Maybe some consulting, maybe weekly calls every here and there, but like onboarding and like customer support and like answering every customer's like question, chill. Okay. You can do that here and there, but if you want to make the most amount of money possible, you need to focus on the things that drive your business forward and provide the most value to your business. Okay. And so depending on what you're selling, the more technologically oriented the solution is, the better. Productizing your service is also key to making the delivery of your service as leveraged as possible. And so if your service delivery is all over the place, you're never going to be able to scale. You need to make sure that your service delivery is like a conveyor belt. So, whenever you onboard a client, who you hand them off to and what happens from A to Z, you need to craft the roadmap of your service delivery. Okay. And also when it comes to making your productizing your service, you kind of want to be careful, because if your service is something where you're like providing personalized value, then you don't want to just like create a course and completely remove that personalized aspect from your service, because that's going to decrease the value of it. So if there's like information that you find you're repeating yourself constantly and you're telling every client the same thing, probably just record a video of it and make like a little course on it, or just make something evergreen so that every person can read or go through, instead of you repeating yourself, just adding more leverage to your business and your fulfillment. Okay. And so that's basically how you improve the 5 aspects of your business: the delivery, the deal flow, the appointment flow, the lead flow, and the attention. Okay. If you ever run into a problem, always think to yourself, what is the constraint of my business? And, you just need to figure out the constraint. You need to break stuff until you hit the next constraint. Okay. And so we actually let me pull it up. So we just launched our brand new AI Scaling Specialist school community completely for free, where we're going to be teaching you how to separate yourself from the red ocean markets by positioning yourself as somebody who scales businesses by selling an AI scaling system. It's completely for free. It's the first link in the description. If you want to join right now, get free insights right away, I would highly recommend you do that because we are releasing some exciting stuff later. So yeah, if you get any value out of this video, please subscribe, join the free group, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.